Hey everybody, Don here. In this video, we're going to talk about how you can job hunt during a recession. So let's just say that this is going to be applicable for mostly software engineers and whatnot, but honestly, you can use it in any field, whether you're a digital marketer, whether you're a graphic designer, it doesn't really matter. But my channel is mostly catered towards software engineers, but if you're not, welcome to my channel. I help new programmers get their foot in the door in the industry, as I have myself. So let's get right into it. So if I was approaching the job hunt during a recession, what are some things that I want to keep in mind? So one of the things I want to keep in mind is there's probably going to be an excess of talent, right? So when there's an excess of talent, that means that employers have the power in this scenario. So what they're going to end up doing is they're going to end up favoring these candidates that recently got laid off from their FANG company or from their really prestigious company. And then it kind of leaves the new grads, it kind of leaves the boot camp grads, it kind of leaves the self-taught grads in a difficult place. So what I'm going to talk about is how to overcome that during a period of economic downturn, right? So the first thing is understanding why this is occurring, which is you have to understand the last point, which I talked about. So as a result, you can then modify your strategy in order to really help yourself land the best opportunities possible. So during a period of recession, what you really want to focus on is you want to focus on breadth rather than depth, right? So during 2020 and 2021, for example, I was getting a lot of iOS opportunities. So it would make sense for me to really double down on iOS in order for me to separate myself from the other candidates, right? And show that I am knowledgeable on iOS more than the other candidates. However, during a recession, this is not the case because the depth assumes that you have opportunities. So what you need to do instead is you need to show how well-rounded you are and how you can adapt to different technologies, right? So if you're in a position where you're fairly entry level, right, where you're not have a lot of experience, I would focus on different kind of languages. Now this assumes that you already have competence in one language and you'd learn the others, right? I made a video a couple days ago that tells you what I would do if I started over learning how to code. So make sure you watch that, as that's going to be a lot more applicable. But this is going under the assumption that you already are competent in at least one language. What you want to do is you want to start learning different languages that are in high demand, right? So what do I mean by that? So during the time we're recording this video, usually it's going to be JavaScript and usually because it's going to be Python. Now, let's just say that you're coming from C++, you're coming from Swift, you're coming from Kotlin, you're coming from Java. You know, you want to learn these high-demand skills in order to give yourself breadth, right? What this is going to allow you to do is going to allow you to expand your opportunities that you can apply to. Because the problem is, during a recession, there's going to be a lack of job opportunities that you're going to be able to apply to, right? So what you want to do is you don't want to sit on your ass and do nothing. What you want to do instead is you want to increase your competence in the other areas so that now you have more opportunities to apply to. Now you're not going to be as good as if you really doubled down on iOS or you really doubled down on Android, but you don't have the luxury of opportunity in this scenario. So obviously, if those opportunities end up coming along, obviously you're going to put everything to the side and start focusing on interview prep, right? But especially when you don't, what you want to focus on is building your skill set breadth-wise rather than depth-wise. Now, let's talk a little bit about the actual job application strategy. What you want to do in terms of job application strategy is a lot of people will cold apply, right? Now, cold applying works if you have an impressive resume. But for most people, that if you watch earlier in the video, I explained how there's an excess of talent in the market. You can no longer go that way. So you have to differentiate yourself by sending emails after the fact. Now I have a video on my channel where I went deep dive into what I actually did to send emails after the fact. including finding emails, sending emails. I gave templates and stuff like that. I'm going to link it in the description below so that you can give it a watch. That's going to be really helpful because that's really going to help you separate yourself. You know, when I was searching for iOS positions during the recession, this is the only way I was able to get outbound interviews. Now, what is outbound interviews? So outbound interviews is you apply to a job and then you send the email. So you're actively going after opportunities rather than letting the opportunities come to yourself. This is the only way I found it to work, other than, of course, getting referrals. But even now, this is obviously from personal experience, but referrals will only work if you have the required amount of experience that's listed on. Like during a recession, the requirements are going to be a lot more strict because there's more people that are looking for a job, right? So during like 2020, 2021, where there was an excess of employers, you know, if they listed 2 years of experience, 2+ years of experience, you can kind of get away with not having exactly 2 years of experience. But what I'm finding now is a lot of employers are a lot more strict on that. So referrals, in my opinion, I haven't seen very good results on them. Your mileage may vary, but that's based on my own experience there. So your best bet's going to be the cold applying plus the emails, right? And then the last thing you want to do is you want to have a strong social media presence, right? Because the best jobs are going to be the jobs that are not listed. The only way to do that is if you start posting content and showing your expertise in whatever field that you're trying to get into, right? So if you're trying to be an iOS developer, you're going to post a lot of stuff about, you know, exciting news from WWDC. You're going to give news on like Observable. You're going to give news on a whole bunch of different things related to iOS, right? This way, engineering managers and hiring managers know that you know what you're talking about and are more likely to keep you in mind for future opportunities. So I hope this video was helpful. I hope it provided some value to you. If you liked the video, make sure you hit that like button. Hit the subscribe, as it really helps support the channel and lets me know that you enjoy content like this and encourages me to make more content just like this. And, of course, make sure you leave a comment. Tell me what you thought about it in the comment section below. And without further ado, I'll see you in the next video.